You are listening to the Holistic Travel Nurse podcast. This podcast is sponsored pretty much by me. There is no one else right now sponsoring it. This is a educational podcast with uplifting, inspirational stories that will help you pursue your health and why you want to take care of your health naturally. After 15 years over that in healthcare, I know the good and the bad of our healthcare system and what is lacking and what we can be doing to aid in our health. And I like working one-on-one because, there's all these programs people put you through, kidney cleanses, liver cleanses, some diet program, but we're all uniquely different and we shouldn't be boxed in one little area. So what I love to do is meet with people online and design a protocol that will really help with them with natural things that they could add to their lifestyle that will really move the needle on their health with diet, essential oils, and supplementation. And I've been very successful at this. You'll hear a story here with a friend of mine and his wife's story into pursuing natural healing. And here we talk about the dangers of EMF. And if you aren't familiar with what EMF is, that will all be in the show notes. I just want to thank you for listening to this episode. Thank you for listening to this podcast, sharing it on your social media, and then reaching out to me today at holistictravelnurse@gmail.com. You can also go to my website over at Holistic Travel Nurse. I look forward to chatting with you. I hope you have a blessed day and enjoy this amazing episode with my friends that we are going to talk all about natural healing. Recording. Hey, this is a Holistic Travel Nurse. I have an interview with a fabulous dude, Scott, a Canadian. Scott has a background in marketing and printing, and then in pursuit of healing him and his wife, he has found many things that have helped him support his body in natural healing. And so this is what this conversation is about today. Thanks, Scott, for being on. Thanks for sharing your story. Thanks for inspiring us to pursue natural healing.
Thanks for having me on the show. It's awesome. Can't wait.
Tell me a little bit about why you decided to pursue that natural healing and helping your body heal.
It's an interesting journey. Like you were saying, is that my background is actually printing and marketing. So I've been in printing and marketing for the last 25 years plus. And the past 9 years, my wife is actually an ultrasound tech at one of the major hospitals here. So we were just talking a little bit about what we do, and with that comes a lot of different challenges and things that you come across in the hospital, and obviously in awkward positions for so many years, especially in ultrasound. You're reached over, you're pushing down, your shoulder, neck injuries. It's very prone in ultrasound. So we were fighting some muscle aches and pains, the typical stuff that you go through. But that then escalated into many different things with nerve pain throughout our body, eye pressure, headaches, fogginess, lack of focus, and then basically losing muscle tension in our body. And it was just really weird of what was going on. And through that, we found some very unique things that were kind of pushing us towards more of a holistic, because we went to the neurologists, we had X-rays, MRIs, ultrasounds, all the normal Western medicine, which is fabulous. And they're very important. As we all know, we need that integrated medicine. Like, we need that as a society. And then what we found, we just weren't getting the answers that we needed. So we started looking into other holistic approaches. And then we had a friend introduce us to doTERRA essential oils. Obviously, that was one of them. And obviously, we started looking at our foods and trying to figure out, okay, so we're having these type of symptoms. Our inflammation in our body was just through the roof. So we're trying to find ways to start removing the inflammation in her body naturally versus using medication that she was on a lot of. She was on Lyrica, which is a nerve blocker. She was on Percocets, antidepressants, um, a few other a few other medications, and we're trying to find ways to reduce that, because on all those medications, there's obviously tons of side effects that come with those medications, as everyone knows. So with that, we ended up going through leaky gut. We started going through some severe gut issues, liver issues, and then skin issues, obviously, from all this stuff not all working properly, keep it in layman's terms. And so we started looking at our diet at a very heavily way. And we found a really good book, actually. It's coming to me now. It was a book by Dr. Amy Myers, The Autoimmune Solutions. Really good book. Do you know that book?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we started looking at that as kind of like, okay, you know what? Let's give this a whirl. And it actually helped her a lot. That really gave us the kick in the pants, going, okay, so we don't really need to take all this medication. Let's try to do it even more holistically. So then we really started digging into her food and exact very specific things. So she was able to reduce a lot of her inflammation, about 95% of her inflammation. But we found that she was still having a little bit of joint pains and fogginess and fokiness. It's like, okay, what's going on here? So then we started implementing essential oils as well, topically, internally, diffusers everywhere, the typical regimen. And then we started doing that. We started finding that her energy levels would go up a little bit and then cycle back down, up and down. So then we found out that she has an oxalate issue. She's having high oxalates in her diet, which were, and it doesn't affect everybody. And
no, certain people tolerate them. Yep.
And that's was like, what the heck's an oxalate? So then we started going down that rabbit hole, and we found that a lot of the food that nutritionists and stuff like that are pushing on people are typically, they're very green, they're very healthy, you need to eat this, and they're jamming it. It's like, no, don't do that. Everyone's body reacts differently to different things. So what could be healthy for me, which could be green, vegan, whatever you want it may be, could be very dangerous to somebody else.
Exactly.
And that's where a lot of people, they don't get that. And it's like, no, you gotta go vegan, go vegetable based, get rid of all the meats. Like, hold the horse. Right? And when you do that, they're like, what are you talking about? Like, this is the way. It's like, no, it's not the way. Maybe for you. So we played with that. And so now we talk to a lot of people about that. So you got to really find out what your body is telling you for that. And once you figure that out, that's a big item. So
if you've ever had kidney stones, then you pretty much probably have isolates and you cannot tolerate that stupid celery juice diet, which is stupidity.
Yep, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. So with that, we really jumped into that heavily, and then we started using more oils, and we started doing more of the symphony of the cells. We started doing protocols on a regular basis, because once your body gets into that position, where your body's in fight or flight mode, literally 24 hours a day, your body is not in a position to self-heal. I don't care what anybody says. That's just the reality. And you can use whatever medication, whatever you want. It just doesn't work. You can't even meditate at that level because your body is just in such disarray. And so once we got her body in a position where it's now accepting the nutrients from the food that she's eating, and we're in a position where she's actually sleeping versus up every 40 minutes, which if you do that over a long period of time, your body is not healing at all. So now we're in a position with that. And then we came across, so once again, diet, super important, reduce your inflammation, figure out if you're susceptible to oxalates or not, figure that out. That's a very big baseline for your health, your gut health. And then from there, we went into essential oils, supplementation, enzymes, probiotics. That's huge. And different strains of probiotics is obviously important, which what we did because of leaky gut and stuff like that. So it's important to change that out for what we did.
Fermented food.
Yeah, exactly. Fermented foods. We went through all that as well, still going through all that. And then we came across another one, which I had no idea that actually existed. And we were just touching base, you and I were just touching base on it before we came on live here, is frequency healing. So a lot of people don't understand truly what that is. There's different ways. There's sounds, there's frequency, there's vibrational. The end of the day, there's many benefits of it. One is a big one, which is a big portion that we didn't know that we're susceptible to, which is EMFs. So electronic magnetic fields is very dangerous to you, and it's everywhere. And if you're outside, you're in the city of any sort, it's a big blanket mesh. If you could see it, it's literally a mesh around us. And that is affecting us on the cell level. And it's affecting our nervous system. It's affecting our cells. If you do a live blood test analysis, where you actually prick your finger, you can see your blood on screen. You'll actually see hexagon blood cells, and they're actually damaged. They're clumped up like a little worm. This is EMF damage at its best. And when that happens, it's a problem. And it's
your wife is exposed. You know, it's funny you were talking about that. We're recording this in June, and all the COVID stuff that's happened in the U.S., they got that bill passed for the 5G without any problems, and it just pissed me off because people don't understand. And people are like, I want my 5G phone. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, but they don't realize what it truly is. All they understand is that I can now download a movie in 3 seconds versus 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That's all they understand. What they don't realize is that 5G itself, the 60 hertz frequency that they're using, is actually used as a military weapon for the past 10 years. They actually use it as a military weapon. It's 60 hertz. It's a millimeter wave. It breaks the skin. It depletes your body of oxygen. And it's within seconds. Anybody go to YouTube, type in 5G testing. You watch what happens, right? People have they tested this out in Europe. It was in Switzerland. It was out in Asia. And when they flipped that switch, birds literally dropped out of the sky, people. Right? And they have this people walking around with their mobile phones recording birds literally dropping out of the skies, butterflies dropping, bees dropping. This is a real thing. And we thought 4G was bad. This here is literally 100 times faster, and it's lethal. That's why people are burning down 5G towers all around the world, because they're implementing it very quickly because of COVID, and it's not good. If you drive down any major highway, any major street, you'll start seeing these low towers, where cellular towers before used to be 5, 6 stories, 7 stories tall with satellite dishes. Now they're only about 2 stories tall, maybe 3 tops, because it's a lower frequency and it doesn't go through buildings, right? The frequency, because it's a millimeter wave. So therefore they have to put more towers to cover that blanket. The more towers they have, we're now turning into an internal microwave, right? It's a bad thing. So EMFs, when you have any kind of a virus in your body, call it COVID or not, and there's this conspiracy theory that COVID is actually the 5G. Listen, people, if it's not, who cares? COVID is a virus that's bad. Okay, gotcha. 5G, yeah, it's bad. You put both of them together, holy crap, that's a big problem, because the 5G depletes the oxygen in your blood. What's the number one symptom of COVID?
It's the red blood cell.
Right? Red blood cell, and you can't breathe. So if I'm now depleting your cells,
it's taking the iron. What I've last read is it takes the iron actually off some of the red blood cells, which is bad news.
So if you can't breathe already because of a virus, and now
I think it's from that is in that cytokine storm, and I think it's with oxidation, and people are walking around with oxidized stress so much in their body. Not us, because we are on the best antioxidant period. Mm-hmm. But the average people have so much oxidated stress within their bodies, and they don't freaking know it. And you can't talk to a regular physician about this stuff.
Nope.
Because they're not trained in this at all.
They're like this, right?
Uh-huh. Tunneled.
This is my field. This is what I'm staying in. This is my highway. It's a 2-lane highway. I go fast, but this is my highway. They don't take any side roads. And that's a big
my gosh. I have the funniest story, but I have 2 stories from working in healthcare right now and dealing with like ignorant people in the healthcare setting. Do you want to hear them?
Sure.
Can we add them in this conversation? Okay. Because if people need a little humor, this is pretty funny, especially with my friends that are in healthcare. So during this whole COVID thing, and we were on the COVID floors, on the ICU and the COVID floor, and this newer nurse had this doctor who's like so anxious about, all the doctors are so anxious about COVID. It's hilarious. Hilarious to me, because I absolutely have no fear whatsoever of it. The first week or so of going back in and seeing anxiety, what we're doing with it was a little crazy. But so this doctor told this nurse, she has to transport this patient from one floor way down to another floor, or up, one or the other, up or down, whatever, quite a distance. And they're positive, right? So we're treating them all different. And this doctor, it's hard to even say this like without laughing, told her to put a bag over this patient's head.
What? Come on.
A plastic bag. It's a whole new bagging method.
What the word?
You gotta tell your mom, you gotta tell your wife this story. And she did it.
Come on.
No, I'm not joking.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's a whole new method of bagging a patient.
Yeah, no. Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
I know. I had tears going down my eyes. I'm like, you didn't actually do it. This is when we deal with doctors that you want to say that some doctors are so brilliant, but they can be brilliant in like that little area, and that's it.
Sure.
And then the other night I had an issue, and my healthcare that I do is dialysis on patients, and my patient had an issue with her access and would not stop bleeding, and I'm like, I need help,
Yeah.
And I can't put a stitch in. I know my limitations with my license and stuff, but I didn't have the nephrologist there. They bring down the resident. Like, I think this is maybe my first year resident. He's like, his platelet count is low and his INR is high. These are levels in the blood that make him hard to clot. I'm going to order some FFP. And I'm like, well, that's great. Should I just keep holding pressure for a few hours until the FFP is here? I'm like, that doesn't fix the problem.
Oh, man.
I'm like, are you kidding me that you're just saying that to me? I'm like, I had to talk to someone else. I'm like, can I get a physician here that can actually put a stitch in?
That's insane. And it doesn't surprise me. And that's the funny part, right?
Yes. And so why I have this channel is that there's people you've got to, and it's funny because I have people reach out to me because I have it advertised. This podcast is advertised on my car, so people ask what about, and then I get people from where I travel that ask about, hey, what is a holistic nurse? And I'll just give them a little spiel, and I had like someone go, oh, so what book? And I'm like, I've read so many. This is where you want to start in your health journey. But I pursue, and I'm glad that people are pursuing that, and they're taking like their own health in their hands and like, oh, I don't want to be on this medication, and this doctor thinks I have to be on this medication. Maybe I'm going to choose to do some of what you're saying, but I'm also going to look so much at my diet and look so much of some natural things that I'm going to be doing also for my body. And then I realize, this much or whatever, this part, but I'm going to figure out the rest. And I'm going to take ownership of the rest of what I purchase in my food in my fridge to what's going on like in my life. There's certain I read about one of the books I read years ago when you talk about EMF was I read Toxic, Not Sick.
Yeah.
Suzanne Summers spoke up so much about that, and she spoke up so much about mold toxicity, and so that's a really great book. And the people that really want to pursue their health, they have got to educate themselves.
Yep.
And there's great information out there, and there's some crazy information where celery juice is great, and I've done it, but not you're right. If you have a problem with oxalates, you shouldn't be touching it.
But people don't even know what that is, and that's the problem, right? So you got to start off with the base, which is reduce your inflammation to what we're finding. Reduce your inflammation. Then once you get there and you go, yeah, I'm there, but I still have all these chronic pains and aches and stuff like that. Maybe I should look into oxalates. Then you look at it. Right? If you start with oxalates, then it's like, okay, what are you dealing with? Right? So when you start reducing your inflammation, that's going to bring your gut health back to base anyways. Right? Once you do that, then you start picking out the oxalates slowly, because you can't reduce all your oxalates quickly because it's very dangerous. And you got to do it gradually. It's not cold turkey overnight. I'm cutting all this stuff out, because your body's going to go, what the heck? And it's going to be a total shutdown. Right?
It's a slow process with healing. And like we've been doing, and people, I was thinking about it to put it on the podcast and have some excerpt, maybe you and I can connect if you know anybody, but bone broth. Because if you know gut health, you know that bone broth is ridiculous part of the protocol to healing your gut.
That there's base one. This is bone broth and soups, right? Bone broth, soups, and then from there, obviously, you want to reduce your sugars and your breads.
Sugar is just a ridiculous.
Your coffees, your alcohol, and stuff like that. So that there you can cut cold turkey, but all of your other stuff, bone broth and soup. That's exactly what my wife started with. That was the first thing she did, right? Bone broth and soup, and then we actually implemented some Chinese teas that are very, very, very specific for your liver and detoxing certain things. And that was like the aha moment of like, here we go.
Yeah, it's funny because I drank my tea. That's what I started my morning with today, was some Chinese herb tea, actually, with some essential oils in it. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's the way to go. And natural detoxing and just adding the essential oils into your waters, the different essential oils for different things. It's huge. And it's we owe it a lot to, and that's all natural wellness. Right. So now you start looking at, so now we're figuring out working with even Lyme disease, right? So you can do a lot of stuff naturally for that as well. And that's what we're figuring out. So it's interesting, it's fun, it's exciting, it's scary, because obviously you're playing with your own health, but it's way better than what we were 7-8 years ago. Right.
Oh no, I commend you for doing it. I mean, matter of fact, I don't even have regular health insurance. I have a Christian Medishare plan here in the US, and I only see a physician when I have to get my physical otherwise, but I'm also working healthcare and I can read the reports pretty well and read healthcare.
You definitely have the leg up there for sure. That's
yeah. That's why I find that when I work with someone, I'm like, hey, I'm like, my mom will send me her labs and my parents are always sending me their labs. I'm like, okay, and that's exactly what I do for them. It's exactly what I do for other people. They're like, okay, so, and I'm like, I talk about their diet. I talk about their supplementation. And I'm like, and it took my mom a little while, but we've made changes with her diet. She went keto, and my dad, he has had kidney stones, and I'm like, I've been telling him no oxalates for a while. And then he finally, actually, someone else said it to him to listen to me, and he was like, well, look at all these things I can't have now. And I'm like, yeah, Dad, but
look at all the good things you can eat. Don't look at the bad things, look at the good things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting. It's where we go, right? And the good thing is what you're doing is huge for this podcast, trying to help people naturally. And the big thing is that a lot of people overlook, that we find, especially in the past, like, I'd say 6 to 8 months, is EMFs. Like it's a thing that's not even talked about. And it's only been recently because, as you mentioned, 5G. But listen, people, 5G or no 5G, do you have electrical in your house? Yes, you do. Do you have lights in your house? Yes, you do. Do you have an electrical panel? Yes, you do. Do you have Wi-Fi in your house? Yes, you do. Do you have a microwave? Yes, you do. These are all EMFs, right? Think about what you're doing. You could be sleeping beside an electrical panel. You're getting the heaviest dose of EMFs that you can ever imagine. You don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Right? And that there, a lot of the side effects are tiredness, lack of focus, ADD, ADHD. All these things are also a buildup of radiation, as well as obviously the chemicals in your house and stuff like that. But EMF protection is a big item that I didn't even know would be even on the radar to even look at. So you got to look into it, and there's good ways.
I live in an RV full time.
That's great. You're still gonna have an electrical panel. You still have lights, right? But it's not just an RV.
It's nice. And people don't talk about. Well, speaking of, people don't talk about the danger of what's in the new light bulbs. I don't actually. A lot of these don't have that LED lighting because it's full of mercury, and people don't. I'm like, you got to be careful with those. And there's like no caution and no education about those.
Zero. And it's not just living where you are, which is fine. It's the stuff just outside your RV, right?
Yeah, where we're at.
You still have a cellular towers. You still have, if you have a signal on your phone or your iPad or whatever the heck it is, well, guess what, people? You're still getting dosed with EMFs, right? With an actual mobile phone. Do this. It's hilarious. Go into the settings on your phone and actually read up. They actually state to pass this from the FDA, the phone needs to be 10 to 15 millimeters away from your phone, safe distance, so there's no the safe distance for radiation. You should be talking like this. From every single cellular phone in the world has this notification in your settings. So how many people do you know actually talk like this?
Yeah.
Everyone's like this.
No, my husband puts everybody on speaker, actually. He's just like, everybody, speaker.
So what's the population? If you look at the population, how many people do that? Not many, right? So within a 3-minute phone call, the amount of radiation that's going from your, say, your right ear goes to about the inside of your right eye within 3 minutes. That's the heavy dose of radiation. On a person that is 17 years or younger, because their skull is thinner, is going to the opposite eye within a 3-minute phone call. Or watching YouTube or whatever it may be. Right? That is massive.
There are some phone cases that are supposed to be also very protective, though. Also, I've read about those, and I haven't like examined them as well as I should.
Right. So that's a good thing to actually help protect the phone. Absolutely. The thing that's around that is what signal is going to the phone.
That's true.
So are you really protecting your phone, or you're protecting you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's great that you're protecting the phone. Good job. Right? But you're not protecting your own cellulars, and that is the problem. Right? So we have like these are the products. This is just a ladder bracelet, but it's actually in so much more. So these are actually you'll get a kick out of that. See those circles?
Yeah.
It's not the doTERRA symbol. It's just a circle. But these here have the Schumann resonance in them. So the Schumann resonance is the natural Earth's frequency that Nikola Tesla coined many, many moons ago. Right? Yeah. So lightning hits the Earth, that has a vibration, has a frequency. So when you travel way the heck up out of north and you don't get a signal on your phone, do you feel better? Do you feel more revived, more focused, more energy? It is because you're out of the EMFs, right? So what we're doing is we have this product that we're bringing to you that you can actually wear. So I wear 3 of them every day. So they're actually also in a silicone band as a sports bundle. So I don't know if you can see the dark gray there.
Cool.
So this is crystals that we've mashed up and mashed into silicone that has a frequency built into silicone. So they're obviously even safe for kids. My kids wear them as well. So now you have the natural Earth's frequency on you. So if I have a phone, I'm protecting me from the phone as well as all the stuff around me. So now it's portable. I never take them off 24 hours a day. So if you actually do a live blood test analysis with these on, you'll see that your blood's now separated and actually moving. Therefore, it's more oxygenated. Therefore, when it's more oxygenated, what can't grow in an oxygenated state in your blood? Parasites, bacteria has a hard time growing, some other big ailments that we can't really claim to cure or whatever it may be, but all those now start to dissipate. Why is that? Right? So that's why these products were created, and we actually have them now, and I bought into this company because of what it's doing to people's health naturally. And it's just phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Well, so awesome. We'll have all that in the show notes too for people. I'm very new to this also. I've read a little on this because of what I've read in the past. It is and I understand the energy frequencies because I talked to you about that's how we are. People, that's why your nerves are all that, your heart.
We're frequency beings. We're vibrational beings.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
We know that when we shock somebody.
And that's what I was just going to use that example because of who you are. Obviously, when someone's going into the hospital, they go, "Oh my God, get the paddles." What is that?
It's not paddles,
but right? Get the paddles.
Electricity. Yep.
Right? It's electricity. We're vibrational beings, and not only that, is our different organs have different frequencies. So if you can picture that, so if I can now create frequencies to help with that specific frequency of that organ, what do you think is going to happen?
Oh.
Let's think about that, right? So now
oils have vibration too, though. Essential oils have vibrations.
Essential oils don't have vibrations; they have frequencies.
Frequencies,
right?
Yes.
So if you continually use essential oils, that will raise your vibration and your frequency in your body, and now you're adding the natural Earth's frequency on top of that. In the testing that we're doing is we're basically, because give you an example, frankincense has a very specific frequency. So if we now create that bottle and take frankincense, doTERRA's frankincense, which is pure, and pour this into the bottle that has the frankincense frequency, what's going to happen to that frankincense? What's going to happen when I topically put it on me or I take it internally? Right? Is that going to enhance the experience? Is that going to now make it that more potent and powerful?
Interesting.
Right? That's where we're going with it, because it is a very powerful, potent thing that we're doing. And there's some other things that I'll actually have tomorrow. It's been in the works for about 5 or 6 months, which is it's an actual lamp. And the lamp you plug into the wall, and it has a light coming out of it, which is now light frequency, right? Light therapy, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
So
I did infrared this morning.
Exactly. So now I can take that with the Earth's frequency, the Schumann resonance. So when I'm actually doing light therapy, it's actually pushing the Earth's frequency in the actual light and actually doing even more than what it would normally do for light healing. And it's
for like near infrared?
Exactly.
Huh.
Right? And not only that, it's also penetrating that 10 by 10 space. That's the area that we've actually tested. So if you have a lamp within a room, it's now going to protect that room from an EMF standpoint at the cellular level by an 8 by 8 or a 10 by 10 room. So if you have these in these different rooms, that's actually going to affect that person, that patient, that massage therapist, that whatever it may be, wherever that room is, it's actually going to help them.
Wow, right? That's cool.
So there's a lot of beyond amazing, cool stuff coming for EMF protection because of what it is and what we're going to be dealing with, right?
Yeah.
Elon Musk just got approval from the government. He's now putting up, 2,500 satellites into low orbit.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're all 5G satellites. So
he's nuts.
He's literally.
Have you heard him interviewed? I mean, he's brilliant. He's a brilliant mind, but he is very. I heard him interviewed on Joe Rogan, and I was like, dude's a little off. Yeah. I mean, he's brilliant in what he knows, but he's a little off. So I didn't know that was happening. I'm like, glad
yeah. If you're in a very dark space, like do it tonight. You'll actually be able to see his satellites in a line, and you'll actually see them moving. And they're all his satellites.
Shut up.
For real. There was a light show literally about a month ago. It was around 11 o'clock at night Eastern time. We went outside and we actually saw his light show with his satellites. Right? So that does two things. One is it's 5G, right? That's one.
Yeah.
Two is now if you're blanketing lower orbit with all these satellites, day and night, what do you think that's doing to the sun? Are we going to be getting that vitamin D that we need, or are we going to be reduced? It's a huge problem.
Wow. This is why the supplementation with vitamin D is so highly necessary.
So in our 5G Defender bracelet that we have, so picture a bracelet like this. This one here will be the Earth's frequency. This will be colloidal silver for immunity. And the next one is the sun frequency. That's why we have those three frequencies on one bracelet. Because you have the Earth's frequency, which is what your body needs naturally. Colloidal silver, it's the number one thing for immunity. And now you have the sun frequency, right? Which is basically a mood enhancer as well as giving you that vitamin D, which is what your body is looking for, that frequency from the sun, right? So now we have those, we have the three most important things on your wrist on a day-to-day basis.
That's cool. That's super cool. I mean, it's just one of the things that people really need to look into. Now, if someone wanted to look into this more, like myself, that's going to start probably getting into this more, maybe you and I will have to work at this. What education do we have to further educate them about that? We put that in the show notes?
Yeah, so we have a lot of information on our website, which we can go through underneath our science page. There's tons and tons of information. So if you go to essentialvibes.ca, the homepage, actually this is really cool. So if you go to the homepage and you scroll down, about 3/4 of the way down, there's a live blood test analysis that we recorded live on our phone.
Really?
You can actually see we did a live blood test before we put the product on, and then 4 hours later with 3 bracelets on, and you can actually see the difference between the blood beforehand and the blood afterwards, and watch what the blood test analysis lady says. She loses it. She's like, I don't understand how this is happening. It's like oxygen in your blood. She's like, how? And she's like all excited. It's phenomenal of what this actually does at the cellular level.
That's so freaking cool. I'm excited about it because I know that the 5G is going to be freaking bad for us. And I know that we're exposed.
Listen, it's not just 5G. Remember, it's 5G is super bad. That's like the high level.
Yeah.
4G, 3G,
4G.
2G, LTE, your Wi-Fi in your house, your electrical in your house, your refrigerator, your microwave. All these things have EMFs around.
All the smart devices, they were wondering because of all this looting that was going on. They're like, oh, they're all just going to put all the smart stuff in. I'm like, we're surrounded by way too many.
The Bluetooth headphones, the Apple headphones.
Yeah.
The amount of EMFs that are coming off those is insane.
Really? I own those.
It's insane. It's insane. People, get rid of those. Go to Wired. Do a little research on it on YouTube.
Okay.
EMF exposure from earbuds. Bluetooth earbuds. Don't even pick one particular brand. Pick all of them. Doesn't matter. I used to have them. I have 4 or 5 sets of them. I don't wear them at all anymore. After I started doing this, it's like, oh my grace. My energy levels now went through the roof. I'm no longer kind of lolly at like 5 o'clock. Doesn't happen anymore.
Wow, very interesting.
That's what I'm saying. So if you have diet, essential oils, and frequency healing, you have the best of the world, right? That's the best prevention plan that anybody can talk to you about. Those are the 3 things that you need in your lifestyle.
Oh, right? And then, yeah, exactly. And remove the toxins out of your lifestyle.
Yep, that will naturally happen though. If you're doing somewhat of a proper diet, I'm saying somewhat because being 100% on, that's just hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so 80%, like, let's be real, right? So 80% real, and then you have your essential oils, your supplementation, your enzymes, your probiotics, and all that sort of stuff. Now you have frequency healing. You literally are setting yourself up for success. If you're doing those 3 things and you're not healthy, something's wrong. Like, seriously, people, seriously, right? You're giving your body the best opportunity to heal itself. You're giving them the right tools to heal itself. Not that these are healing you, it's giving you the tools for your body to heal itself.
Yeah. I've made that. I've wanted to do a discussion on that anyways, because I don't think people understand. Someone just said, oh, well, I'm on vitamins. I'm like, what vitamins really freaking matter? Because you're wasting money on a lot of vitamins. And I've had a research when it comes to the supplementations I'm on. I don't just take doTERRAs. Like I told you before, I do herbs. Mm-hmm. And then we just started another product just to help with just recently. That's not direct selling or whatever, but it's an amazing product that has been that I have been using their brand for a year before I actually did and talked about it on anything, because I'm my own guinea pig.
Yeah.
When exactly. I'm going to share with and educate on somebody, I am going to do it to myself first.
Yep. And that's what we did as well. That's like nonstop, right? Try them for 4 or 5 months and really manage, see what's going on, test it, make notes. And I did my own live blood test analysis, and within 8 days, it was like, holy, what a difference. It was phenomenal, right? You got to do it. And once you do it in your own way, and you see the benefits and seek the benefits, and then you reach out to a smaller group of people and you're, holy wow, okay, this is great, then it just gets bigger naturally, right? We got to do it that way.
Yeah. And I think I think that there is a huge shift of people that are really doing the research on their health.
Yep.
And pursuing it. And if you're that, then man, those are the people that Scott and I both want on our teams, because we really have that. And so can we just strip the concept a little bit and talk about why doTERRA and this other company as a business? Because in our economy right now, there's been massive amount of people that have been without a work all over the globe because of this pandemic. They just they put us in timeout for a lot of people, which is just debilitated businesses.
Yep.
And our economy is a mess. Yet passive income is not taught in college. I was in school for business before I was in nursing, and never it was Robert Kiyosaki. I mean, he's kind of, his books, if you've never read them, need to be read just to get his concept. The concept is brilliant.
Yeah,
So
I was in school for business as well. Nothing I
really
was ever taught. Yep. Business and marketing. Nothing whatsoever.
about leverage, and
Yep.
it's about leverage. It's about making money from money and making
Yep.
money duplicate
Residual
on its own.
income, passive income, like, right? And the good thing with residual income and passive income is it's good for you. It's good for the environment, right?
Yep.
Not like we're in a business where it's selling plastics, if you will, or whatever it may be. That is, yeah, you're making a little bit of residual income, but you're killing the environment, right? It's not going to change your being, right? If I could have $10 billion, if I don't have my health, the $10 billion is useless, right?
Absolutely.
You need to work in an environment. One is it's going to help you sustain your lifestyle that you want to live, but be healthy with it, with you and your loved ones and your family. So if you have that as a business and you can have passive income and residual income for making yourself, your family, your loved ones, and other people around you healthier and saving the environment at the same time, high five, let's do it, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. And so
Yep.
it is so important. We need to teach more residual income, passive income, and we need to get people back to work. But this here you can actually do from your home. Right?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
a no-brainer. It's
Yeah.
it's great.
It really is. I mean, because we buy from people all the time. I mean, when I'm a travel nurse at the heart of it, I still work at that, and I don't know the area. So what do? I ask somebody that I've gotten to know, hey, where's a good place, a restaurant? Where's this? That's exactly what direct selling is.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this is what this is, and they just get some money from it. That's exactly,
Absolutely.
and it's amazing opportunities. There's
Absolutely.
been some bad companies out there who've made it look like some pyramid scheme, but it is not a pyramid scheme.
So what's a pyramid scheme? Let's talk about that for a brief second, right? Pyramid schemes like this, right? So name one company in the world, one that is not a pyramid. You always have an owner of some sort.
True.
Of some sort. It could be a board of directors. It could be one person. It could be 50 people. They always have some kind of people below them of some sort that's making less than them, right?
CEO, even if it's like a board of directors in a big company that's just board of directors, there's not necessarily one owner and there's stock owners. There's still the CEO at the top of the pyramid.
There's always somebody at the upper level, always, which is okay. So if you're working as, like when I started in the industry way back when I first started my printing company, I started sweeping floors. What was my goal? I wanted to make an income that could sustain my lifestyle, whatever that would be. Wasn't making a huge amount of money, but I was like, man, I want to be like my manager because he's making good money, and you know what? He's helping more people and understanding, giving them some guidance and educating them on how to actually get to that level. Okay, I want to be like him. I got to that level. It's like, wow, all right, I moved up the ladder. I doubled my salary. This is awesome. Mm-hmm. What was the next goal? I wanted to move up the ladder even more. I now wanted to manage the whole branch. Okay, I got to that point. So I'm moving up that ladder where? To the top of the pyramid, right? So I moved my way up. And then I was actually on the board of directors at a company, and I had 270 staff below me with me and my best friend, Peter, right? I started sweeping floors, but I made it to the top of the level of that pyramid, right? So that's, when you talk about pyramid schemes, yeah, but at the end of the day, everyone's in a pyramid. The scheme is, how are you getting paid for your work and your effort and your time? Right? Mm. This way here, you're in control of it. You're your own CEO, right? Mm. That's the best part about it. You know what? I don't feel like working today. Okay, well, what you put into is what you're going to get out of it. So if you want to work 10 hours today, giddy up, let's go, let's grow this thing. If you want to work an hour a day, okay, you're not going to grow as fast. You're not going to reach where you want to reach. It's your goal that you're setting. That's the difference, right? So passive income, residual income, people need it. People want it, right? And it's not hard. It's literally serving others. It's helping others where we want to be as a society. We want to help other people, right? If we can do that as a society, we've won.
Yes, this is all what my podcast is about, because I feel that there's just too many people being lied to. And there's too many people that
Yep.
just their eyes are blinded, and but then they're so sick, and people have been so sick and they've been on that cycle. I'm never gonna, like, I interviewed like another podcaster, another person who was on 9 meds, told her doctor said, you're going to be on these the rest of your life. That's not the case. She refused to accept that.
Yep.
She refused to accept that. And that's where you have to be. I refuse to accept what this one person decided that I have. And I'm going to pursue my health, because you're right. If you do not have your health, but you have $1 billion, what do you have? Steve Jobs.
Carrying yourself in it. Like, what the heck? Right? And I talk
having
about
all the money in the world is not going to fix your health.
Like, absolutely.
And even having some of the best physicians, because you really need a naturopath. I mean, if I could, I would own a freaking spa where people could come and get educated for 4 or 5 days and see really that, go back to nature, going back to nature, going back to the way things that we used to do. And you see my husband's Native American.
Right. So,
and the Native Americans had a very way of taking care of their health. And so was Chinese medicine, Ayurveda medicine. There's very beautiful ways of the way that they manage their health. Yeah. And we need to incorporate those into our own lifestyles.
Absolutely. Our bodies are naturally designed to receive natural things.
Yep.
Right? And I'm going to say that again because it's super important. Yep. Because our bodies are designed to receive natural things. Once you start having foods, supplements that have synthetics, fillers, chemicals, pesticides, and stuff like that, our body treats those as chemicals, right? They don't know what it is. It's a foreign thing. So now our bodies have to work 10 times harder to try to digest it, get rid of it, detox it, this, that, or whatever, versus dealing with its natural foods or whatever it may be to help our bodies get to where it needs to go. So we need more natural things. And it's a big thing. We need to keep on pushing. We need to talk more about it. And we got to keep on pushing it. It's so important for our natural wellness.
It's so common sense, and I don't know why people don't get it. I'm like, dude, it's so common. You go pop a whole bunch of Tylenol, you're going to ruin your freaking liver.
Yeah.
Your body doesn't know what that is.
That's right. Well, it knows what one part of it is, because most medications, and you know this because you're in doTERRA as well, is where do most medications start from? Essential oils, right? They start from an essential oil of some sort.
Right? A plant source of some sort.
The
exactly.
Source,
if we want to talk, yes. If we talk aspirin, if we go back to the oldest medication on the book that they push, which is ridiculous, it's just going to cause ulcers. There's so many problems with taking aspirin. A baby aspirin every day is what the cardiologists say. That's a bunch of bull ass. Yeah. But it came from a tree. But your body knows to do with that bark in that tree.
Exactly.
When we synthetically make it in some lab and then add it, same with additives of food. Yeah. Your body's like, what the heck? I mean, if you ever I colored my kids' hair with the Kool-Aid. I'm like, this must color someone's insides. Yeah. Like all the way through.
Literally, right?
Literally. And because I'm a child from like the 80s when Kool-Aid was like so in. Do you remember? Like,
oh yeah.
And then I'm like, my kids. Yes, my kids colored their hair with it. And I was like, this must color your insides. I mean, do you ever get rid of this? Yeah. You know, this toxin as like, and they don't care. And the food industry doesn't care about what they're putting in. They actually make it more addicting.
Absolutely.
This is why you can't eat one potato chip.
Yeah.
You want the whole damn bag.
Exactly. It's so true. It's so true.
I mean, you are being marketed so bad to the point that you just don't get it. And you have to make a mindset change to your health. You have to start with, and it's going to make a shift to how the food demand when it comes to how you purchase food. They looked at me weird yesterday because I drove all the way far to a vitamin cottage. Yeah. And I was like, well, I want better quality meat. You can't really get it in the grocery store.
No.
So
grass-fed, yeah. It's important.
Yeah. And they just like, oh, you do that and you spend so much money. And I'm like, yes, I do.
And it's funny because when they say that, it's one. I was on a podcast yesterday, and it was with a doctor, So it was kind of funny. It was an interesting conversation. They're just getting into integrated medicine, so it was cool. So I asked the question is, how many people do you think they have a budget for things? Usually in most households, it's kind of a budget. It
Yep.
could be an exact budget. It could be an approximation budget on,
Yep.
okay, how much do I spend on the car, gas, groceries? I got to fix the house, paint, trim, this, that, whatever. How many people do you actually think they put a self budget in for self-health care?
I do.
Yeah, but most people don't. It's like a 2% number. It's very, very small. And that's a problem, right? So we have to allocate budget to our self-health care. It's just one of those things.
Exactly. And that means that you might have to spend a little more money when it comes to your food. And you have to do the research in why we buy organic, why we buy grass-fed, why we stay on the outsides and don't buy so much canned food. My husband brings home more stuff, canned stuff. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to put you on a leash at the grocery store, you know?
You got to send the grocery store full, not empty. You won't buy that stuff, right?
Yes. So, Scott, I know we have covered so much in this interview. There's so much information, and we will have some links definitely in below if you're watching YouTube or on listening. Yeah, because this is such a good conversation. And I hope that this inspired you to really make changes with your life. And it starts with the little changes. It can start with your diet. It can start with your lifestyle. It can start with a percentage of I'm going to incorporate a little bit of oils to my life. I'm going to incorporate. Yes, as long as you're moving towards something like that. Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. It's a frequent. It is. You know, don't go far, massive extreme. You know.
Exactly. Let us know if you need help. We're here to help you, right? We're a lot of experience between the two of us. Let us know what you need. We're here to help out. So thank you so much for having me on the podcast. It was a great conversation. I love it. It was awesome. So we'll
I'm going to get the link and look into the bracelets myself, and then I will do a testimonial.
I love it. I love it.
Experiment on myself first.
Let's do it. We'll have to get you a couple for sure.
Yeah. So thank you guys for being on and sharing your wife's story and sharing your story. So I'm going to
appreciate it. Let me know if you guys need anything, and we'll keep in contact.
Yeah, I hit stop.